Hi, I'm Jonathan Campbell, and I've always liked to build things. In 2004, I was paralyzed in a bike accident and am now a quadriplegic. Despite my limitations, I found new ways to build things, and so I'm making these videos to show others who may be injured that plenty of things are still possible. Hello, I'm Jonathan Campbell, and in today's video I'm going to be installing this cyclometer that I assembled in a previous video. It's going to require me to transfer onto the couch over here and then remove one of my wheels and do a bunch of other stuff, hook up a couple wires. So I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be and whether it's going to lend itself to a single video. So the first thing I need to do is transfer over, and this video is not really about doing transfers, so I won't go too much into it. I will say that the easiest way to do a transfer is to lean forward and get your weight off your butt. It's counterintuitive because when you're first injured and you can't really feel your butt that well, you don't know when you're past your tipping point. And so it's really scary to lean forward. And so if you're able-bodied and you stand up from a seated position, you take for granted the fact that you do it leaning forward. You don't lean straight back and stand up. So, all right, so I'm in my couch right now. Well, first of all, I need to take off my sweatshirt because it's really rainy outside. This part probably won't be on the video. All right, so here we go. All right, so I got my sweatshirt off, and now I need to see. I ran some wires in my chair. So basically, what I have set up on my wheelchair is I have my phone holder. My phone holder right here that I've got on like a rubber hinge, so that when I hit things, which I always do when I transfer, it won't mess up my phone and it won't break the bracket. But this is actually wired up through a wire up to a battery up here underneath, and this recharges. This is like one of the standard phone rechargers that you can buy at the Apple Store or wherever. That when your battery's dead, you can plug your battery and boost it. But I've got that set up with my phone holder here. So if my battery's running low, I can just put my phone in there and hit this button, and it'll start charging. Then the charger for it, I've got a retractable USB cable right here, and this can be plugged into an outlet or plugged into a USB hub or something like that. And it'll charge up the battery. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, my cyclometer, as intended, is a bicycle cyclometer, and it has its own battery. And the problem with the battery, though, is that it was dying too quickly because my wheelchair, I'm moving around all day long rather than a couple hours a day, and so it would kill the battery in about a week. And so in one of my previous videos, I soldered two wires to the cyclometer, and these two wires are going to wire into this battery. So this battery is going to be powering the cyclometer as well as charging my phone. So I've got two wires run underneath the chair that this is going to plug into, and they're on that side. So I think my cyclometers, it can go on either side, but I think it should go on that side. Make things easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove my cushion just to make my chair a little lighter, because I might have to turn my chair upside down. Alright. Oh, this is not easy because I've got... Okay, so looks like I need to turn my chair around here. Let's see, I just ran over a water bottle that my dog brought me. Alright, so the cyclometer is going to go on this side, and the wires I have for it right underneath here. I'm just going to turn my chair all the way around with that. So these wires aren't going to be long enough by themselves, I don't think, to reach the part of the chair where the cyclometer is going to be, which is going to be right here. Yeah. So I've got some extenders that I'm going to put on, and it doesn't help that I've got a piece of tape right here that's holding one of them in place, temporarily in place. So I need to get this tape off first. And then just trying to get my thumb under it here. Oh, my dog is just sniffing around, waiting to see when this gets interesting. Alright, so I've got like a little corner of it peeled off here. And it's almost enough that what I do sometimes is I'll press down on the sticky part and try to roll it back. I know you can't see that on the video, but it's just one little technique I use for getting tape off things. So it looks like I need to peel a little bit more of this. Now I got it where I can press it against my hand and pull it off. Okay. Alright, so I got that off. Okay. Just like doing this at my desk, except I have to lean over a lot more here. Oh, can't tell I must have that.
Previously on Building with Idle Hands, I show how to connect two wires together without blocking the camera.
Brown wire here, and I do this flat on the table, especially on the glass table, where I just line them up and slide them together.
Okay, so we got that all hooked up. Now it's time to make sure it works. So it says it's searching, and it's probably expecting to see a magnet. Let's see if this picks it up. There we go. So it's showing up. So now I've just got to take my wheel off and then and mount this on my chair. So Sadie's gonna come out now. Right, little girl. Alright, and so the easiest way for me to do this, just lift it and pull really hard and try and get it past the there we go. So if you're not familiar with wheelchair, hi Sadie, hi sweetheart. If you're not familiar with wheelchair wheels, the way they work, the axles work, is there's a bearing kind of thing in there that when you push the button, it releases the bearing and it lets it go past a certain point. Okay. Sometimes that bearing will catch on the very end too. Oh, I'm seeing stars now. Oh, that got me right in the chin. Okay, so let me explain what's going on with my wheel. So on a standard road bike cyclometer, what you do is you put a magnet on one of your spokes, and when the spoke rotates past the sensor, it'll trigger it. And so, you know, on a wheelchair wheel, let's just say, for example, it's about, we'll say 25 inches in diameter, which means for every rotation, it's going about 75 inches, which means that the magnet only goes by the sensor once every 75 inches. In a wheelchair, sometimes I'm not going that fast. And so sometimes the sensors have a minimum speed requirement or interval, or else they won't detect it as movement. And so what I did was I designed and printed a ring on my hub right here that fits in here, and it's got 6 magnets in it. And so the sensor registers 6 times for every revolution. And so what I've done is in the settings on my wheel, I've divided the wheel by 6. So now it's like so I get 6 about every 20 inches, or a little under every 20 inches. Oh, less than that. Wait. I'll print the correct calculation on the screen so I can move on. Okay, so I've got this wheel off. All right, so now I just need to take the sensor and try not to unplug it. I'm just going to bring it down under here. All right, and this should just fit on here nice and snug. And if I need to, I can loosen up the screw that's on here with a set screw. So it looks like what I need to do is loosen up the set screw that I've put on there, or the clamp. I think I got it. Oh, it's almost there. It's on the axle tube, but there we go. It's on there now. Just a matter of getting it on there a little further. Okay. Okay. So now this little arm right here is on a. It can flex to move out as necessary to get it close to the wheel. And in fact, I may need to move this out a little bit more than it is. What do you think, Sadie? Alright, we're gonna just jump right there. Alright, watch out, Sadie. Move your feet. Watch out. Okay, I got it. There we go. And it looks like this thing does need to be on further, which is okay, because this actually works pretty good. Make sure it's not rubbing the... Alright, so I just need to scoot this in a little bit from the wheel. But I think for the most part, it's registering. That's good. That there, and then I'm just going to move the arm out a little bit on it so it's picking up. Now I just need to get out my phone. Alright, so I've got the sensor, it's registering. I just need to make sure that we're getting some real speed with it. Yep. So there we go. So the only thing I have left to do is to manage these wires up here somewhere. I'm just going to take a piece of tape and stick up underneath there. I've been through airport security with my chair, and I always make sure, right before they even start looking at my chair, that I point out all the electronics I have on it, just to be safe. The last thing I want to do is be kept off of a plane because of something that looks suspicious. That about does it. I just got to get my cushion back in and get back into my chair. I've got one other thing I need to do on my chair while I'm sitting here, but it's not going to be part of the video. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
On the next, building with idle hands, Sadie decides it's her turn to have the couch, but she can't get comfortable. My attempt to do a video on soldering a circuit board gets thwarted by a broken soldering iron. In a related development, I show how to fix a broken soldering iron.
Sit, Sadie, sit. Sit! Good girl.